All right, you're tuned in to WXJM 88.7 Harrisonburg, and today we have Matrimony with us. They're playing on campus at Taylor Down Under. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, this is Jimmy here. I'm playing the guitar and doing a little singing.
I'm Ashley, and I play piano and sing.
CJ on the banjo. Jordan drums.
Cool.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Cheers.
Guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So your guys' band name is Matrimony, and that's for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone thinks it's because Ashley and I are married, but it was really like when we started the band, we wanted to create like a thing where it was a marriage between words and music. So that was kind of like we were trying to find a name that kind of, that said that, I don't know, that explained that. So we came up with a lot of names. We started off with Holy Matrimony, and then we were like, that's pretty pretentious. And then we just Matrimony, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what could you tell us, like, how being married affects playing music together professionally?
I mean, honestly, it's pretty sweet. It's great to be able to travel with your wife, and you get to go and see a lot of the country, and get to play music. Obviously, like writing and like being on the road and everything just comes together, and you're just always doing the same thing together. So that's like, she has a song going or whatever, and I'll try to chip in, and maybe she doesn't like what I'm trying to say, and I'll get offended about it or something. But I'm just kidding. I don't know, but But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, it's just like when you're always with the same person the whole time, then obviously that's a very interesting thing you don't ever get to do, So, but yeah, musically and all that stuff, it's just it's great to be able to go around and play shows and just hang out, do all that stuff. So
yeah, cool. So you guys just released an album in April called Montebello Memories. Does that title have a meaning? Tell us about that.
I'll answer it.
Yeah, that's the house that we all grew up in playing music, and even James lived there for a while because we're all siblings, me, CJ, and Ashley. So we grew up there, and then even James lived there with Ashley for a while. So we kind of just wrote a lot of songs about what happened there and about our childhood and even early adulthood and stuff like that.
Very cool. Now, just out of curiosity, what is your favorite setting to play a show? I saw you guys played at South by Southwest on a boat, which is pretty unique.
Yeah. Yeah, the boat was cool. It was like, yeah, I mean, it was kind of one of those things where you just wake up first thing in the morning, you have to be at a boat, and you have no idea what it's going to be like. You don't know if it's a big boat or a pontoon or what it is, but yeah, so, that was cool. Like South by Southwest, cool. Yeah, they had some good food on that boat.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And some good bands too. So we got to see some bands. Magic Man. What are they called? Magic Giant?
Magic Man was actually here in the spring.
Okay, yeah, they were on. And then this other band from Ireland from where are they from? They were like they spoke like Elfish language, They're like I don't know where they're from, but it's somewhere like that, So So yeah, that was cool. I like playing big festivals, and then I like playing like really shitty bar gigs, because it's like the small ones are like kind of it's intimate and fun and like rowdy and that kind of thing's fun. And then but playing big outdoor festivals where there's like tons of people there and it's like the sound system's huge and it's just like summer's day. It's kind of like it's pretty fun. Yeah.
I heard today you guys played Bonnaroo last year.
It was not this Bonnaroo this year, but the one before, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool, yeah, yeah. I did not know that. Yeah, I found that out today. Someone else told me. But also looking around, I saw that Southern Skies is being played on ESPN College Football.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys football fans, or is it just cool having your song played to that many people?
CJ and Jordan love football.
Yeah, cool.
I don't really know very much about it. I mean, football to me is kicking a ball like a soccer ball.
Right.
So, but I mean, I think it's a great sport. Like, it looks cool to play. I'd like to go out and try and tackle some of them guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's cool that many people are getting to hear your music.
Totally.
So I think right now we're going to take a little break and actually listen to that song, Southern Skies, and then Julia is going to take over and ask a few more questions.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back. For all you just tuning in, we are doing an interview with Matrimony, who are here live in the studio, and they'll be playing on JMU's campus at Taylor Down Under tonight at 7. Thanks again for coming in, you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
So just to continue, so you all have kind of like a folky, more country sound. How did you develop that? Because I know at the beginning you talked about how you gave up like electric guitar for acoustic guitar and like a more indie sound for folky.
Mhm.
So how'd you make that decision?
Well, it was just kind of natural. Like, we all started playing acoustic instruments before we were playing electric instruments, like acoustic pianos or just a guitar laying around the house. So it was just it wasn't really like a big decision to not play electric. Like, I still play electric in some of our sets now, like every set. And so it was just kind of like, we wrote some songs that just sounded good on the piano and acoustic. And, and now it's developed a lot to where we're playing some electric and some organs, and there's a lot more groove and stuff in it. It's like, I wouldn't really describe our sound as folk country. Honestly, I would say it's more like rock and roll music with some folky kind of instruments. The show is very high energy. There's a ton of singing. There's a lot of parts like groove and bass and like that kind of thing, where that you don't really see that in a lot of folk music traditionally. So, but obviously there is that element to it because there's banjo, mandolin, and that kind of thing. But I think that's kind of what's unique a little bit about what we do, is it's not really, none of us really even know how to play traditional folk music in terms of like finger picking and all that stuff. Like, we finger pick, but we don't do it like your traditional, I don't even know what the names are for them, but you know what I mean? There's standards like with that. We don't do that, so it's very much our own thing and just kind of like how we like to play,
That's interesting. Do you think like you'll stick with the same sound going forward, or do you see yourselves like developing into like a different genre or anything?
I think when obviously it's helpful, a little bit to talk about genre, but I think, we'll develop naturally, whatever way that means for us. And that's how we like look at music. Everything has to be natural. And, we end up developing in ways that we don't realize until you look back and you see like, this is kind of where we're headed, or this is what we enjoy or what we like, and obviously that changes and people evolve and everybody changes. There's nothing ever remains constant. So it's like the music's never going to do that. So I think it's the natural progression is to evolve and change. But as to what genre we're going to evolve into, I don't really know how to classify that. It would be more just kind of like, I think we're just going to keep growing as writers and players, and we'll see what we put out,
That makes sense, definitely. So before, Alec kind of touched on how you all have played South by Southwest, and I know you've played a couple other festivals around town too. What kind of like concert type do you prefer? Sorry, that was like weird phrasing. Do you like the festivals more, or do you like the tiny clubs more, anything like that?
I think it just depends on the energy in the room. I think it's just as fun to play a really small gig, as it is to play a really big festival. It just depends. That's on the crowd and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Are there any like favorite shows that you've played that really stick out in your mind?
We've played so many shows that it's kind of honestly hard to even think of one show that we've done because it's like such a blur. But
Wilmington, we opened up for Passion Pit. It was like a sea of people. I remember that.
That's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Like dropped, but I was excited. It wasn't like nerves, but it was just cool, exciting.
That's awesome.
But that's one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool for me too.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a native Irishman. Do you think you'll ever go and do a tour in like Ireland or the UK or anything?
Yeah, we're looking at early next year, going over to Europe.
So, that's exciting.
Yeah, we haven't announced it yet, but we will be in the next month or so. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads into the last question. What does the future look like for Matrimony? Any big plans coming up?
Well, we're just, this year's kind of coming down, like, closing down in terms of touring. So, next year, like, obviously going over to Europe and, touring again here in America. And then I'm sure we're going to start looking towards a new release, so, but it's very early stages in that, but that'll be the next thing because this album's out. We've been touring a lot and we'll go and play it over there. And the next progression is to make another record. So I'm sure like when the new year comes around, we'll probably start getting our heads together and thinking about how we're going to approach that.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that. Again, thank you guys for coming in. And for all you tuning in, again, they will be playing on Jamie's campus in Taylor Down Under tonight at 7 p.m. Thanks again.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.